Welcome to episode number 3 of Vibe Dialogue, a podcast for creatives. This is going to be focusing on my continued interviews with Squid Game, the Challenge Season 2 players. This episode is a very unique one as we're featuring Eldredge, player 415. He got a lot of press and a lot of video footage for his comments of not having a baby that he told everyone he was expecting, and also saying that it was his birthday when it was not. I thought it was a great gameplay. Some people didn't like it and almost made him into a villain, but I think you'll enjoy this episode and then really get to know him. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. It helps the channel go a long ways. And ultimately, my whole goal is to help creatives in the music industry and the creative industry and in large, just have a larger voice and continue their passions. So enjoy. Okay, so this is part of my Vibe Dialogue podcast. It's a podcast for creatives, and I am featuring some of the players from Squid Game Season 2, The Challenge. And today I'm joined by Eldredge, player number 415 from The Challenge, which you made it a super far ways, and they kind of made you into like a little bit of a villain on there, which is hilarious.
I would say I think I made me into a little bit of a villain.
Okay.
If anything, the edit was generous. I could have shown a lot worse.
Well, so what's crazy is a lot of people don't realize, like when you get off the airplane, like you immediately get thrown into a van with some people and you start making relationships. And before the show even starts, you start creating connections. And we hopped on the van. We were in the van together, me and you and Claire.
409. That's right. Yeah. What a world. That's crazy. That was our van.
I know.
It's taking me back to that moment.
I know. And we were what color group we were? Do you remember?
Gray. We were the gray cohort.
God,
I'm sure you've talked about cohorts, but I feel like, should we explain that for anyone who's just watching this for the first time?
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit. Like, what's your my take is like they immediately start making you create relationships, like and making you find alliances before. And I never really thought of as alliances, but they just start organically making you create relationships. What's your take on what they're like? Explain what happened.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't want to get too into it because, like behind the scenes stuff, I'm not sure what the guidelines are, but we were in groups in a hotel and they certainly influenced the game before we went out there. And Jesse and I, we were brought in by van into the same group. So we go literally back as far as you can go, except for me and Claire, who were sitting next to each other on the airplane, unbeknownst to us.
That's great.
We were both in the game.
Were you like close to each other on the airplane or like actually in the same row?
Not in the same. We were like same row, I think, but separated by an aisle. And we had one interaction, and that was when she dropped the bottle, and I picked it up for her. So that's
crazy.
Nothing. We didn't talk at all. I was busy dealing with my back pain, trying to get comfortable for like 6 hours. But she was the first squid I ever saw, even though I didn't realize it till later. Yeah. What about you?
I mean, you both were the first ones, and we just kind of hit it off right away. We were just like easy, we all, had a little bit of story, talked about our history or whatever. Like you right away was like, I have 2 moms, and that was
which is true.
Yeah, and an interesting. Yeah, that wasn't a lie.
You got the true story. And you with your all your work, your nonprofits, your music, working with the kids, right? So yeah, it was your story definitely stood out to me. I remembered it very well.
Yeah. I think, I was, it's like, I don't know about you, but I guess I just one of my questions, like, why did you join the show?
Sure. Yeah, I'm a huge reality TV fan. Like, to say that I'm a super fan doesn't even cover it really. I just got a master's degree in game design, And I wrote my thesis on reality TV plus game design, right? How the way these games are designed influences storytelling and character development and things like that. So
cool.
I'm obsessed with the concept of playing these games. I've always been a strategist, gamer, poker player, not like Steven, unfortunately, for my career.
Yeah.
But it's for some reason the mix of storytelling and gameplay and strategy really, really resonates with me to the point where I want to get involved and work on shows. That is my next career goal. So I've applied for 1 million, and then with Squid Game came around again. I didn't get on season 1. Season 2 came on. I was like, you know what? This is just suddenly really clicking with me. I think I didn't really feel it or want it season 1, but then I thought, what's better than this? It's like so random. It's so chance filled. There's like stupid children's games. It's absurd. It speaks to the absurdist in me. And I decided, you know what? Let's just go in there and really go for it. And that's ultimately I got lucky and got picked.
Yeah. I feel like I'm very in alignment with you because I love games. I'm like, dude, like, if obviously there's games that are chance and then, and it's out of your control, but like if I'm in control of the game, I will most likely win that game,
I love that attitude. Yeah. Except in Squid Game, it's like we're all dead. Like we're already dead, basically.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to wade through it all.
100%. And that's like, going to the very first game when it was like counting game, I was like, fuck yes, I got this, like
you did, man. You did.
They didn't tell that story. Like how did you perceive that story? Like when they split us in from X's to O's. You picked X. Why did you pick X?
There's a reason for that. Yeah, it's funny how we all ended up together. So again, without getting too much into it, all the people that I knew going into the game, almost all of them picked O, and I was going to pick O with them. All the immediate connections you make, they were all going O. But for those who don't know, I happen to have been real life friends with Melissa, Player 110. For years before Squid Game. And I talked to her and she was like, well, all of my people are going X and I'm really close with them. So I'm going to go X. And I said, see you later, everyone else. I'm going to go follow Melissa. And I tried to take a few people I knew with me. I remember shouting out at people like, come on over, come on over. I don't remember exactly who listened or how that worked out, but that's how I landed on X. So thanks, Melissa. Appreciate it. I owe you 1 or 2. What about you?
X was like, I just was like, hey, a lot of times X beats O on things. I was like, if this is like an X versus O thing, maybe that's, or X goes first, So I was thinking strategically on that, which it had nothing to do with that. But like, I was like, if there is a tragedy, X goes first generally, right? Tic-tac-toe.
So yeah, that's interesting. And we came out first in that. But I mean, it wasn't because of anything about the X. It was because of you and Michael and a few other people.
Yeah. How did you see like when that what was your observation of that? Because I don't think the story was quite told, but I'm curious like how you saw that go down. Obviously, we came into the white room that there's an X buzzer there. Like
we get into the white room, we learn the rules of X and O, and my heart immediately falls out of my ass because I am like, well, this is great. I just came all this way and I'm just gonna be at the mercy of whoever's counting. So that was a tough pill to swallow. I remember just pandemonium, which is funny because I heard the O side is like 1,000,000 times worse than the X side. But I remember everyone shouting, everyone trying to get their voice in. I had a pretty dumb idea about selecting some people and like going with a median of when people thought the count was up. Thank God there was some voice. And if anything, you need to tell me how it went down. I just remember someone threw out the idea like, hey, we have some musicians here. And I remember thinking like, oh, thank God, that's way smarter. I'm so glad that I didn't open my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, I got this. And I mentioned, I was like, hey, I played this song, Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd all the time. I also have a remake out.
Yes. Wait, I remember that. It was like 60 beats per minute or something, right?
It's like it's 60 beats per minute. Boom. And I was like, we got this. And it's a crazy thing about that. They don't tell the story, but we said we were going to stop 2 seconds short. Do you remember that? We're going to stop because we went over, the tiebreaker went to who was under. So like we counted that perfectly, like perfect. Which is bionic. Like I know like pro drummer musicians, like there's maybe like 5% of all professional musicians that can count perfectly in time for 7 minutes, you know? And under that type of pressure,
It's insane.
it's insane.
I never thanked you, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was like all these people are here. If one of them wins it, someone should be sending me a check, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what? I would have done something for you and Michael and other musicians who are in it, but
Well, Zeke was counting.
they love me.
You know, and so like, you know, Zeke was right there counting. And he's a hip hop star, so he had great rhythm. Like we were in the flow, you know.
I forgot he was in there too. For some reason, I remembered it as being you and Michael. But the three of you were counting, and what there were two helpers.
I was clapping, and Michael was clapping with me, and Zeke was counting. So it was like, and then we had backup counters of Taylor. I can't remember who the other backup counter was right now, but
so I have a question about that actually, if I can jump in.
yeah.
On the show, it really, Michael stole the show. And you got to imagine a big part of that is because of how he goes out. But,
Yeah.
you know, was it cool to see yourself there? Or were you like, hey, man, there are other musicians there too?
I was like, you know, for me, it was like, you know, he sold the drama. He wasn't trying to be dramatic, but he had the drama that they were looking for. And I didn't offer that up. You know, I'm like so calm and so chill, you know, where it's like, yeah, I got this shit. Like I was confident. So it was like they could pin that on him more. But, you know, he actually sent me an Instagram message and was like, dude, I'm so sorry how that went down. That like, I feel like terrible. And he got all the credit for that. And I was like, dude, what?
Nice.
It would have been awesome if I would have got credit for that because I could have used it more for my musical like career. You know, it's just like because it's a musical feat. But, you know, what do you do? You know,
you're at the mercy of the storyline. And you know what? So much in Squid Game is about what happens down the road, and then they work backwards from there. So if you had a dramatic moment and not him, I'm sure it would have been all about you. So just how it goes. But I got to say, he was a great representative. And if I ever get a chance to vote to save his life again, this time I'm definitely saving him. I promise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I'm just going to vote because, like, dude, whatever. Who gives a shit? It's like 5 people. Let's just keep it in, you know? Like, I'm like, I'd rather. So I voted O on that, you know, because I was just like, let's just let the game take us out, you know? So that was my thoughts. But, you know, dude, I got to say, I just cracked up and loved that you're like, it's my birthday and I'm having a baby. And I thought that was the funniest shit ever. And I'm like, well played. And like, I love that. And I think that was a great strategy. And like, I'm so glad you did that. You know, like I have no
Appreciate it, Jesse.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And like anyone who appreciates like gameplay is like, that's a great gameplay, you know? So
yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I tell me if you had quite or more, but I just want to say a lot of people, I think, especially people in the show, our fellow players, I feel like thought that it was all for TV time. And I just want to say, like, no. You have no idea how much of a psychotic gamer I am. I hate losing, and I like finding any edge possible. So trust me, I have a history of playing fan-made live reality games, which, if you haven't heard, are fan-made versions of Survivor and other shows.
Yeah.
And I played one into Clown Suit for strategic purposes. So just to give you an idea, There's really no stone unturned when I was preparing for Squid Game, and one thing that I really locked in on was these tests, how people always get randomly eliminated, and how being an expecting father was like this universal positive trait that people would feel bad about eliminating someone like that. So
I loved it. I loved it. I was
appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Like anyone, like I said, if you're there to play a game, right? And I appreciate the gameplay, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. My strategy was just to be like, for one, I had already like helped save everyone, so I was in good grace with everyone. But my strategy was just to be authentic and real, and then, if I made it through a far enough time, then of course, then you might have to make some choices. I never had that in my head that I was gonna like say something that I wasn't. I was going to try to just be like, just if you like me, you like me. If you don't like me, that's fine, but just be organic as I can if possible, and just use my gameplay strategy to get me above. But obviously,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think it's a valid approach though too. I mean, the more authentic you can be, and this is going to sound weird coming from me, but the more authentic you can be, the better you will be at making like real human connections with people, I think. So if you go that route, I'm guessing you made more like long-term friends than me. So it's yin and yang.
I feel like you were pretty authentic, though. It's like, even if you're making a gameplay strategy like that, you're not like, you're still like, you could see through someone, like I'm sure, like, you're a good human. We're all good humans. And that's one thing I thought about. Everyone in there is a good person, right? So it's like, I didn't meet anyone that I really got a bad vibe from.
I didn't either, with maybe one exception, but it won't be a surprise to anyone who's watched the show. But other than some like hearsay that I don't want to repeat about Player, everyone on the show, anyone who's on the show like a lot, there's none of the main characters or anything. I feel the same way. I feel like people on reality TV, this too, if you're a fan, like people are shown in a very two-dimensional way. Especially in Squid Game, it's such a short show. Yeah. But they do take care to like, tell full stories and be authentic and not make anyone hated, I think. But it's hard when you watch the show to view people as anything other than characters. Yeah. But my experience was the same as yours, Jesse, for sure.
Yeah. And like, so one thing that was funny too is we were all in pentathlon together. Me, you, Claire. And it was funny because we were in it from the beginning.
Pretty much by accident too. I don't think we it's not like we had this tight alliance off the plane bus ride connection. I think we just kind of found ourselves together through being like soul gray survivors and all that.
Totally. And I think we like crushed pentathlon. Like we barely messed up on anything.
Yeah, it was great.
So we didn't really get a lot of airtime from that because there was like, we were good at it,
Well, here's a question for you though. So yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. I definitely want to talk about pentathlon because I think there's a lot that wasn't shown that I think is interesting. And tell me, you might have talked about this already, but for one thing, okay, we have August on our team who comes in at 111 and who says like, he's going to make us lose, and he's apologizing. He's so unconfident in games. He feels like he's about to let us all down. Yeah. And then we come to find out, this guy's a House of Cards pro. So when he sees House of Cards, he lights up and crushes it in the game. What a comeback. Do you remember that? And how did that make you feel? Hearing him talk like that.
Well, we were like, you got to lick the cards, right? We knew that. I think you might have said, I can't remember.
I remember saying that, and I think I don't know if you said it too. I think August himself too. I think I'm sure he already knew that. He does this all the time. Yeah. So I don't think I don't think our other 5 opponents, unfortunately, knew that. So good thing all of us were on the same team.
I know. And then I had the Ganji down, like that was no problem. But they show that one thing of me playing Ganji is me like dropping a dice. But like I think I dropped it like maybe 2 or 3 times. It was like pretty efficient,
Can I tell you something though? You did really good, and you did way better than I ever would have done. I would have been the worst at Ganji. Sometimes you drove me nuts, Jesse. I don't know if I told you this, but sometimes you were. I felt like you were pausing. You're like looking at the dice and like trying to figure out if you wanted to throw them again or not. And I get why if that's what you're doing. But in the moment, I'm watching it like, just fucking reroll. Jesse, what are you doing? Stop pausing. Get in there. Is that not how it felt like for you at all?
I was just like composed, composure, just calm, because I know we're ahead of the other team. So I was like, just be calm. We're good. I got this. But yeah, I wasn't going to rush through that, because if I rushed through that, I was like, then I could, like I operate way better under composure. So just be composed,
Would you say you're a good composer?
Yeah, I'm like pretty good at
composer.
Yeah, composure and composer. But yeah, I think, we just went through that really easy. And it's funny, I was pretty confident on any game. We like whatever one you stuck me on, because I am like a pro hacky sacker. So I was like,
wow, no way.
Yeah, and like throwing is good. I was in sports and stuff, so I was like, anything, give me whatever. But I knew, I was so confident in the dice game. I'd been practicing that so long, because I knew I was going to be in the show like, in August. So
wow.
Yeah.
I found out I was going to be in the show in January, which is also when we started filming.
That's crazy. I know, that was crazy. I was like, what? Okay, so I have a big question, because I think this is an important one. Maybe it didn't affect you at all, but like, How has the game like affected you emotionally? Like, do you feel like you have suffered any trauma from it? Like, do you have emotional trauma from it? Or is it mostly like you just see it as a game and you like, it didn't affect you in that way?
Yeah, the games themselves, I don't think trauma, no. And I think part of that is my disposition, but also experience. It's like anything else, the more of these you do, the more experience you have. And when I say these, I mean, again, live reality games. Like I played Survivor in the span of like 2 to 5 days in the woods for like eight or nine times. And I think you get kind of desensitized. So to me, these events, I went into it thinking I'm already dead, that I'm just going to make the most of it, play as big as I can, and enjoy the ride. And so that's why I think things like Mingle. Let me back up a second. I also had an approach in the game, partly intentionally, partly not by choice, of spreading out and trying to get everyone to know me a little bit. I didn't really have a tight group. So there wasn't anyone in the game besides Melissa who I felt incredibly close to. Anyone else could have died in the game and I would have been like, fine. No offense to everyone else, but that I think helped me not have the same reaction that a lot of other people had, which is understandable. Mingle especially, it was an insane game. It was also physical. It was chaotic. It was nuts. But to me, it was like I've almost kind of been there before, So no trauma, just some personal relationships to work through after. That's about it. What about you?
Yeah, I feel like just like the moment of getting out was just like, it's probably a little bit different from you because you had just like, 50-50 chance. But like for me, it was like, man, if that ball would have been thrown different, or like, man, if we would have had a different strategy of placing people in our group for catch, we would have been different, So there was like
regrets,
these
right?
Moments of like regrets. Yeah. And it's weird because I don't really care, but like, it still comes back in time for me. And like I've never been a person that have like went to therapy or anything, like a very strong constitution. Like I have a stable life and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, this shit kind of rattled me a little bit, which is interesting. So I'm just curious if you had that experience. And it's like minor because, I know the big picture of life has nothing to do with this, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And let me like walk back a little bit and say I was affected for sure. I remember getting home and just feeling like I was a zombie. Like I didn't do anything for like a week or two. I was just like listless.
Yeah, me too.
It's crazy. You too. Okay, interesting. So it's crazy too because we weren't out there all that long. Squid Game is one of the fastest shows, especially if you don't make it all the way. It's 2 weeks if you go all the way.
How long
of filming of game time? I was there for 8 days. I went out on day 8, personally.
I was there for 6. That's crazy.
So you wouldn't think it would affect you that much, but it definitely did to some degree, especially if you have like a strong feeling of regret after the game. Yeah. So I think you're obviously far from alone, and it's not normal. It's not natural to have 200 cameras pointing at you, recording everything, and to do this experience and get 3 hours of sleep a night. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I'm sure you recovered since then, though.
Yeah, totally. But it still will come up like time to time. It'll be like random. I'll be like driving. I'll think about it. I'm like, I get a little anxiety or something, I'm like,
For sure.
So
wait, can I ask you a question going back? Your catch story. I'm curious about that. How did you end up where you did in line? And
so
what would you do different?
We came up with the plan. You kind of see him doing the most of it, because he was, again, the more character that sold the drama. But we were like, hey, we have these 2 people with disadvantages. We have all these old ladies and stuff in our group. We look like the weakest group. Let's just place all of them, up front. And then the best catchers are in the back. So if it does come to us, we've got it. We can catch. But so unfortunately, it didn't work out that way for us, essentially. So like, the plan was cool. If it would have worked, if we would have just put the people with disadvantages like in the middle, we would have saved everyone. No one would want to throw to someone with a disadvantage,
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I feel like it's hindsight's 2020. We're facing a brand new game, and we had very little time to come up with a plan.
Yeah,
but yeah, the disadvantages, they were just a little too close. Like at a certain points, would you rather throw to someone like 40 feet away or someone with a disadvantage, but they're like 2 feet away from you,
Exactly. And I was like, dude, I got it. Just throw the ball up to me. I got it. I'm a good catch. It was thrown so short. I was like, and it was
That was the other thing. Yeah, it was all about the throws, really. I mean, some you can miss catches out there, but a lot of the throws were just not catchable or very, very hard.
Yep.
I don't know if it was nerves or what, but
yeah.
catch is a game. If anyone does that, season 3 or 4, whatever. Not that I expect them to repeat that again. Get to the front. Don't be complacent. Is my advice to other players. Minimize luck as best you can, because I know a lot of people went with the middle and thought it'd be fine, but you really never know. You really never know in Squid Game.
Let's see, what else do I got? Okay, I have one thing. So if you were going to vote someone back in, who would you vote back in?
But interesting. I've never been asked that before. So like, you're talking about the fan vote that's going on right now, which will probably be over by the time this is out. So yeah, if I could vote one person back in besides myself, because obviously I have nothing better going on in life. I would love to go back in. If we're talking about who deserves it, if we're talking about worth, we're talking about that. If I can remove my own emotions, Michael might really be one of the most deserving. He just seems like such a great guy, and the way he went out is kind of a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Who would you vote? Like, give me time to think. I'm sure you thought of this. Who would you like to see play again?
Oh, I think someone like Jeffrey, just because he was so like selfless and just been like, no, you got to give it to your sister. I really liked him. I thought he was really genuine human.
Seemed like it. Yeah, super nice guy.
Ola Bang guy. He never really made it that far, but I really liked him.
Oh yeah, you know him too.
Yeah, and a lot of people were like, let's vote for characters that get the airtime, but it wasn't those people that I would necessarily vote back in. Yeah.
Well, there's so many. Where you get close to people, and there's like a billion squids running around, and almost none of them are going to be in the show really to any major extent. So
Totally.
yeah, hey, great choices. I love it.
Yeah, and then let's see what else. So what like creative things are you doing now? Like, it sounds like you're getting a master's.
Yeah, thanks. It's weird. I keep walking myself into trouble because I wrote a thesis, but I'm revising it. So if you're interested, I pinned it on my X account, my Twitter account, whatever, which I barely used, at ERICELDR. That's where I am on most places. And what I'm doing right now is revising it to submit to conferences. And again, that's all about reality competition, game design, how game design impacts the show, the storytelling, all that stuff. I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I got a lot of very generous people who either work professionally in game design or who've been on reality TV shows, who work on reality competition shows. And I can't be grateful enough for their support. It's too many to name, but you've seen them probably on a reality TV show, some of them. And so I'm going to keep going with that, and hope once this dies down to work into the reality competition space. Want to work on these shows, making them as good as possible, designing the games that make the TV that we love so much.
Yeah. Well, you are so fitting for this then, because the podcast is Vibe Dialogue. It's a podcast for creatives, and you were absolutely a creative. And that's very cool. And so where can people find you? Like I have, so you have Instagram, you have Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Instagram is also at Eric ELDR. It's the first 4 letters of my last name. So ERICELDR. I am, don't expect greatness. Okay. I'm not a content creator. I couldn't do it, man. It's too much screen time for me. I can't keep up. I don't know how people do it. I applaud them. I hopped on TikTok, so I'll be doing TikTok lives, and as long as people are interested in learning about the show and asking questions, I'll be doing that for fun. I don't even know what my name is on that. It's like Player 415 Eric or Eric Player 415, something like that. So hopefully you guys could find me.
Make sure people find it. Awesome.
Yeah. Dude, what about you?
Yeah, my stuff's it's pretty easy. My stuff's all music based. I have a band that's called New Bass Theory, which I released a track. Wish You Were Here, that was actually inspired from that accounting thing. So that track's banging. It's
nice.
It's on Spotify and all this stuff, but I have a bunch of music under that. I have a bunch of.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. But if you're in Colorado, if you ever come to Colorado, look me up. I run 2 music venues in Colorado. One is a very cool place in Boulder. It's called Roots Music Project. Come hang out. and get you free tickets to shows, whatever. Let's stay in touch. And like lately, I got your number, my phone. It was great to hang out with you. It's great to talk to you. I love playing the game. And it's funny, you said, "Oh, I thought you were mad at me." Hell no. I have no drama with anyone on that show at all, not one bit. And I just loved it. I loved meeting you.
Awesome.
Fun. I love getting in a van with you, and I was really excited to connect with you. So
I get in a van with you anytime, Jesse. Should we quick, like a postscript? Should we explain that? Because I feel like out of context that might be confusing. But if you have time, real quick, I was going to say, so in the pentathlon, right? But to back up a second, we're all together, and I decide, okay, I'm not going to lie, I kind of wanted to grab the producer's attention and wanted to have fun too. So I gave a big speech.
Yep.
And I forced a team name on everyone that didn't go anywhere, called the Sad News Squids. Yep. I thought I was being funny. No one else did. And when we get back to the dorms, Jesse, I'm a paranoid player sometimes, in the sense that I read too much into things. I really felt like you in August did not want anything to do with me. Like, I was trying to get the group together, trying to like talk about pentathlon, and I just felt like I was fighting an uphill battle in that way. So that's why I thought, oh man, I think I rubbed this guy the wrong way. I certainly would have understood. I was like, yeah, I was kind of being a douchebag in there. But no, what was your perspective on that? Were you just, you think I was imagining things, or
in the moment, and like, and we had a good team moment there. And, when we got divided into the teams for catch, I was like, shoot, I was with Claire, but I wasn't with you. And I thought, and like 3 of us were in yellow, but then obviously you didn't join our team, so I wasn't sure what was going on there. But and then,
that's another story.
Yeah, but I was like, oh shoot, we're all in the team together. But I didn't think anything of it. It really didn't cross my mind.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Look, I think for me, it's like if you're not really working with me or talking to me or going anywhere to talk with me, I'm like, oh shit, the gears start turning too fast sometimes. But as far as catch, I think I told Melissa, I told Karen and Claire, our 2 other pentathlon teammates, to go yellow, because Melissa told me she was going yellow. And then the last second, Melissa ran off into another team. I tried to follow her to pink, couldn't get in there, and I got like the last purple slot. So that's how that ended up going down. I wanted to go to yellow, but didn't end up going there. So yeah, that's on me.
Dude, it's been so great to talk to you. Thanks for just like being a part of my world again. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, I would love to like connect again past this. I'm sure we will. And I can't wait to see what you do in the world, especially in all the reality stuff. So
hey, hopefully someday I'll have some accomplishments to hang my hat on, like you already have in spades, Jesse. So I'm excited to check out the new track. And
yeah, dude, yeah, check
seriously, thanks again.
It's like it's NUBASS, so new bass. It's not NEW, so new bass theory. And but I have a bunch of other projects. I'm playing in a group with this guy Blessing Chimanga from Zimbabwe. He's an international music star. He's super high, world class musician. So I'm doing a lot of Zimbabwe Afro funk stuff. But I play all over the state of Colorado, and I do a lot of touring in like the West Coast, not as much the East Coast anymore. But I'm just kind of like more of a regional musician right now. But yeah.
Congrats on all the success, man. That's awesome. You stay busy. Dude, that's for sure.
Let's keep in touch, and thank you for your time, dude.
Right back at you.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Eric. He had a lot of fun things to say. It was really interesting to get to know him and seeing actually like his motivation and where his passion lies and what he wants to do with his life. It makes a ton of sense. Again, follow Eric on all social media platforms. Get to know him, see what he's doing, and also like and subscribe to this podcast, of course, and follow me on Instagram. Follow my project, New Bass Theory. You can find me on TikTok, all those things, and the handles and the links will be listed in here. And we'll see you on the next one.